Hey, what's going on? Happy Friday, whether it's morning or evening to you, wherever you're tuning in from. I'm seeing a lot of people checking in on Discord, 130 people total, and people are rolling on all the other socials here. So we've got something very different for this Friday. I'm sure, as most of you know, there is a big shakeup going on within YGG. We are kind of going to be sunsetting the GAP program after season 10, which is bittersweet. I know a lot for a lot of the community. So we decided to put together an AMA with the people that are going to know it best and be able to talk and answer your questions best. So without further ado, let me bring on Sam and Gabby, faces you're all going to be familiar with. Morning, evening, Sam, Gabby.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people tuning in, which means there's probably going to be a lot of questions. So I know you're both ready to answer them. Um, yeah, maybe just first thoughts from Gabby and Sam about how you feel about this sunsetting.
Yeah, we started Gap in 2022, I believe. So it's been 3 years now. We've had a lot of iteration in the last 3 years. We started with, I think, the first couple of seasons were like a few hundred people. And season 10, we have like tens of thousands, like over 30,000, right, Sam?
We
So,
currently
yeah,
have 2,000 actually.
amazing. Yeah, so yeah, it's grown a lot in the last few seasons. I think the biggest difference is that the our thesis coming in was that we would want to grow our community and give access to the games of this community via questing. This is what we were doing with Gap. And we were hoping that the games themselves would want to really pay for this access. And this is how YGG would grow as a business. That actually hasn't really played out. Like we're really happy with how Gap has evolved in the last few years. But what didn't evolve was the business side of it, meaning that we really weren't able to develop a solid enough business around it. So I guess the main message for us is that questing will continue. We're preparing something that is a little bit different, but something that will still give people access to games. Um, a lot of it won't come with questing for points or YGG tokens, but yeah, there will be an evolution and quest of questing, and that's something that we're preparing for you after season 10. The other important thing is that I think almost everyone here knows that we released Lowland in May, so a little bit over a month ago. And that release has actually gone really well. And that is forming what is our YGG Play, which is the game development and publishing business. So we see that as a business, it's something that we can really scale. It can make money for YGG. It can also help the token price of YGG in the long run, of course. And so we're seeing that with our casual DGen business, it's looking to be a very viable and scalable business. So in business terms, this is where we'll be focused at. You've seen a lot of focus on of the YGG team on Lowland, working with a lot of different creators, working with community, having it in Gap Season 10. So you have already seen that. There's a lot more that we're preparing for it, and we're really going to scale the YGG business, and we have very big plans for it, which we'll be revealing in the coming weeks and months. But that doesn't mean that we're not doing anything for community. Sam can also share some of what we're doing, but we are continuing to do community questing. We are continuing to do a lot of the things that we've been doing before, but it won't be in the similar structure of Gap where it will be the primary way for you to own YGG tokens. So the ownership of YGG tokens, the primary way you can earn is going to be transferred to YGG Play, to the game publishing business. But having said that, we'll still be continuing the community questing.
Perfect. Thanks, Gabby. Yeah, we'll dive in a little bit more on the evolution portion after we talk about what's exactly happening with Gap Season 10. So I'm going to pass it back off to you, Sam, and I will also pull up these important dates because we really want to drive home kind of the timeline on what's happening before we start talking about all the exciting things on the evolution side, which Gabby you touched on a little bit there. So he gave you a little bit of teaser out the gate, but we'll dive into that too. But first, let's really talk about what's happening with season 10 and why I was kind of teasing in the past AMAs that like season 10 for Gap is a big deal because now, as you all know, it's sunsetting. So this is your last real chance to get in for Gap. Not the last chance for Quest, as Gabby said. We're still gonna have Quests, but they just won't be in a Gap format. So yeah, Sam, stage
Yeah.
is yours.
Thank you so much, Colin. So, just echoing what Gabby said, I do want to reiterate that the end of Gap is not the end of questing with YGG. It just marks a new chapter. So our community members, guilds, can continue playing our beloved Web3 games, but also still get opportunities to our bounties and our other programs like Future of Work, all of our community programs, and being active contributors in the community. And this AMA is really we set this up to help everyone, just help everyone through this transition. And we have a lot of important dates here that we need to go through so that we can sunset the program properly and make sure that everyone who participated can still get the rewards, can still continue to quest with us, and can just prepare all of the necessary things as we move forward with like the new questing platform after this season and all of the other activities that YGG has in store. So we have here on screen all of the important dates, everything you need to know. I think, Fallen, you have this link somewhere. You can post it, or you can refer to the X post that we have that has all of these important dates that you need to know. And let's just kind of go through them one by one to see what it really means for each of these. So, in terms of gap questing, as you know, season 10 started a few, like 6 weeks ago. Um, if you've been with us for a few gap seasons already, you know gap is typically running from 8 weeks, and sometimes we've extended it in the past for 1 to 2 weeks. This season might be like our longest, one of our longest, if not our longest season, because we've extended it to August 1. So we've extended the season to August 1 to make sure that everyone has a chance to finish all of the quests that we started for season 10, and to just give you ample time to participate in quests before we officially sunset the program. So now the new end date is August 1 at 11:59 p.m. UTC. That's going to be the next day in Asia time. So once Gap Season 10 ends, you won't be able to enroll in any new quests anymore. So please make sure that if you've done the work, submit your forms. And then, as usual, we'll go through our appeals. We'll dedicate a 2 week window for all of the appeals, and to finish all of the approvals that are related to Gap Season 10. Um, as for rewards claiming, we have a lot of dates here, but let's digest it down because we have a lot of things to keep in mind here. So, first of all, for everyone who participated in the past Gap seasons, we've started rewards claiming already at the end of seasons 8 and 9. But right now, we still have it open just in case there are any people out there who haven't claimed the rewards yet from these previous seasons. But in order to ensure that we have a smooth experience for season 10 rewards claiming, we'll be ending the rewards claiming for all previous seasons of GAP on August 15. So it's the same date that we end all appeals and approvals for season 10. Um, hope that's clear. And in order to just maybe reach people who just forgot to claim the rewards, we'll also be issuing a few email reminders as well, so that people don't forget to claim their rewards that they've worked so hard for. On September 1st, rewards claiming is going to open for season 10. So this means everyone who has rewards from the YGG bounties or any rewards in YGG tokens, you'll be able to claim them already on September 1. And then for people who do game questing and earn YGG points from questing in all of our different games, and even some of our onboarding quests and some future of work quests, we have the rewards map on the YGG website where you can exchange your YGG points for YGG tokens, Ronin tokens, and other assets. So for that, we're going to be ending the rewards map claiming on September 30. So between now and then, please use your time wisely to claim all of the rewards there. I know that the rewards for the rewards maps are finite. So if in case the rewards run out before September 30, then we'll be closing the map before September 30. So whichever comes first. So it's more like a first come first serve, right? That's the whole point of the rewards maps. Like you gain your points and you exchange your points for prizes sooner rather than later because other people might claim it before you. So that's the whole point of the rewards map, and it's going to be sunsetted on September 30th. On the same date, the staking page that nets you a multiplier to your rewards points will only allow unstaking starting September 30th. So staking has been a way for us to kind of reward the community members and award the multiplier on top of the rewards that they're already getting right now. So obviously, it rewards people who actively quest with us. And since we're sunsetting Gap, we also have to sunset this form of staking. Lastly, for October 6th, we have the one step or the one button rewards claim launch. So, what this means is instead of the rewards map, you'll actually be seeing a one button claim for all of the remaining YGG points that you were not able to exchange for rewards. It'll be converted to YGG tokens, and you can claim it all with one click of a button. By the end of the month, October 31st. That's gonna mark the end of all rewards claiming YGG points or YGG tokens. So we don't want anyone to get left behind. We'll be issuing some email reminders as well for everyone who participated in season 10. But for everyone in this call, please be mindful of all of these dates to make sure that you don't miss your window to claim the rewards that you all worked so hard for and played the games very competitively in order to gain. That's basically it. The platform, oh, sorry, missed one date. October 1st is just going to mark a few changes to the platform. It's going to be bare bones. The gap pages will disappear, so you won't be able to see the quests anymore. Also, the rewards map and the games pages. But functionally, you'll still be able to use them for accessing your user profile and seeing your achievements, accessing the guild management dashboard, your guild wallets, and unstaking. So the website's still going to be there. It's just everything about Gap is won't be available after October 1st. And then Fallen, maybe you can talk about like the dates for the community AMAs since this is something that we want to do a bit regularly to keep everybody informed.
Exactly. Yeah. So as you can see, we've kind of packed in here for July a bunch of additional Q&A segments for people. We know some of you guys might end up finding questions throughout the month, or you might have guild members that come up to you with questions that you maybe might have not have thought of. So again, we will be doing streams and Q&A segments during all of the global hangouts throughout July, where you can ask questions. Even if we've answered it before, we'll be happy to answer it again. So be on the lookout for those and stay tuned. I will pull this off. Now, again, guys, this is the Notion article. I have the link here. We will also pin the link in the YGD Discord. So if you ever need to circle back, feel free to circle back. Again, we're going to be sending out email reminders. So hopefully we're trying to figure out what the middle ground is where we're not spamming you guys. But as Sam said, we want to be 100% sure that everyone claims and uses their points, because we are only really opening a month window in terms of the conversion side of it. And that's it. So if somebody doesn't convert their points, unfortunately, that's too bad for them. So make sure all your guild members, all your friends know if they can't do the rewards track and they just need to do the one step, do the one step. Also make sure you unstake your tokens, because when the platform shifts, you know, you'll still be able to unstake them, but we've seen it with past platforms, whether it's ours or someone else. If you haven't unstaked it and the platform website closes, it just makes unstaking that much more difficult. So do it beforehand to avoid any headaches. Let me pull this off here, and we will move to our next part of the agenda, which is kind of the reasoning behind sunsetting Gap. So Gabby, you touched on this before, but it really is about making YGG sustainable, right? Like, Gap is
Yep.
great, but it just wasn't sustainable as a business model for us.
Yeah, that's right. We thought going in that giving access to our community, to our game partners, would be the primary business of YGG. It turns out that that's not the case. With Lowland and with our casual DGen publishing line, it looks like a business that's going to be very scalable for YGG, and also something that will be able to accrue value to our assets, our tokens in the long term. So we'll be focusing a lot on that on the business side. However, we do know that there is incredible value in not only maintaining and growing the community, the guilds that we've worked with for the last few years. And we want to continue that. So I just want to be very clear that we're not shutting down community questing. We're actually going to continue doing it. Like how that form will evolve, we will see. But yeah, we're actually preparing something new for on the community questing side that will be replacing Gap once it shuts down. I just want to be very clear that in terms of earning YGG tokens in the future, that will primarily be done via Lowland, and the rest of the product features we have planned for YGG Play. Community questing will be there to access games to get rewards. There'll still be quests, but I think a lot of that will be funded primarily by the game partners that will be doing it. And there may be times where Lowland and YGG Play can be part of community questing and may have some rewards. But again, the community questing will not be the primary way of earning YGG tokens in the future.
Perfect. Yeah, I think we'll touch a little bit more on YG Play after that. Now, Sam, we touched on obviously the rewards and the points claiming. Do you just want to dive a little bit more into that? I know it's pretty simple. We're gonna have a button. Your points get converted at a set rate, but anything else people need to know about that?
Yeah, so I think I saw in the chats here on Discord, people asking about, like what the exchange rate is going to be when once we launch the one-step claiming, and if they just wait for that versus claiming on the rewards map. So I think the purpose of the rewards map was still to entice people to claim rewards there. So I think like if especially if you already reach nodes like 18, 19, 20, the rewards rate that you get versus your YGG points will still be better in the rewards map. But the one step rewards claim launch will be a fair amount by the end of the rewards map claiming. But we still want to recognize that the people who claim the rewards via the rewards map are, slightly gonna be more of a priority because it's more of a first come first serve basis. That being said, just everything about the rewards map and the rewards claiming and the rewards transition, we're going to be fair about it, but we're going to be strict with these states. So please make sure that you claim your rewards and unstake your tokens after claiming your rewards.
Yeah,
So
exactly. We're gonna have minimal support after this because again, we're driving home these dates. If you forget and open a ticket, it's very, very, very highly unlikely we're gonna be able to do anything for you. We're not gonna we won't have the support for it.
we're also going to issue reminders and email, especially if a lot of people haven't claimed yet. We're going to be a bit annoying about it. So, better to be a bit more informed.
Exactly. We're gonna make sure there's no excuse for not
Yeah.
hitting that button and using the rest of your points. I know a bunch of people have a bunch of points. I'm looking at you, Kuya Kevs, our resident questing master there. I know he's got points on points saved up. Um, cool.
Yeah.
Did Kuya Kevs hit the max multiplier? Yeah, I did, right?
I'm 100% sure Kuya hit it. I'm sure he'll drop in chat, but I guarantee he hit the max multiplier knowing him.
Yeah, just knowing Kuya Kevs, I'm sure he did.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
one thing I
else?
want to tell everyone though is that I'm very bullish about the future of YGG Play, and I do think that you do want to keep the YGG tokens that you have earned through Gap. I mean, a lot of you have been with us to the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4. Some people even maybe 5 years. YGG actually turns 5 years old by this October. And yeah, like we want to make sure that like through the success of YG in the future, you're able to ride with it. You're able to go along with it. And the best way to do that is to hold your tokens or use them for what we have planned with YGG Play. So what I'm saying is that if the price can go up in the near future, I think you might still want to hold and just don't sell everything immediately.
Yeah, obviously we have people that have bills to pay, but if you can keep a bag on the side for of YGG, it's always a smart decision. Like again, this is what it all ties back to for us wanting to be more sustainable and really driving that is Gap. We love Gap, but it's not helping the token price, which is in turn not helping the people that are holding YGG tokens, right? So we need to make a sustainable shift that's going to help everybody that's participating in our ecosystem. And that, as you said, we're not getting rid of questing, but it's not going to be so much us distributing tokens on a large basis, which inflates well, deflates the price because the token supply is inflating at such a large rate. There's a bunch of these metrics that we need to be aware of. And this is just another evolution to make sure that the people that are holding the token are going to be able to occur the most value from it.
Or for
Um,
people who want to spend their tokens instead, you can play lowland or use it to fund any community activities that your guild has.
exactly. So
Yeah,
speaking
that's
of
right.
guilds, we have another part here. What should players and guilds do during this last month of Gap? And I think that's a pretty obvious answer is participate, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, basically that's it. But yeah, so for the from now until the new end date of Gap, which is we have roughly a month. We still have a lot of quests, specifically competitive guild quests, that I think everyone would still love to participate in. Um, we might introduce a few new activities in Gap Season 10, so maybe you can stay tuned for that as well. But use the last season of Gap to maximize your activity, your involvement. Um, I do want to, I think we mentioned this in the announcement, but I do want to reassure everyone that your performance and your achievements that you've gained all throughout the 10 seasons of Gap, it won't be forgotten as we move forward. Like, you're not going to be starting from zero, especially all of the guilds that have been very active and all of the skilled community members that have been active contributors in the space, whether you're a content creator or you're part of one of our community programs as a moderator, as a game tester, as a marshal. All of those will still be moving forward with those people, those positions, those opportunities.
Yeah, again, all your achievements are soulbound tokens, so regardless, we can't get rid of them. They're on chain forever, right? That's how we've designed them, and that's how they are. But we are still going to be looking at those for when we release the new platform. We're going to figure out some cool way to use those. But speaking of what's next, let's talk about kind of what we're allowed to talk about in terms of what we're going to be seeing with the next iteration of questing, Sam.
Okay, so for questing specifically after Gap, I think the main change is going to be that questing won't be a seasonal thing anymore. Um, so obviously there's going to be a bit of downtime after Gap season 10 ends. We'll finalize all of the rewards, the sunsetting of the platform. But sooner or later we're going to be announcing like more concrete updates about like what's next for questing. Right now we're preparing everything in the background. But what I can share for now is questing won't be a seasonal thing anymore. We're still going to have our community programs, but since we're transitioning to this new era, it's going to be a bit more focused. And as for our game quests, it's still going to be, I think people can still expect roughly the same how we've been doing game quests and Gap. It's still going to be a focus on guild activity, guild competition. We'll still have a few tournaments. We'll still have quests that onboard you to new games that we encounter. It's gonna feel different, but familiar at the same time.
Excellent. Yeah. So probably another good thing to touch on here is we're still going to have quests in a sense, but it won't be seasonal. So what's going to be happening to, let's say, like bounties and future work? Are we still going to see those show up in the new platform?
Yeah, a good question. So The short answer is yes. We'll still have our Web3 games. We'll still have our future of work, and we'll even like I would say the community programs would actually be improved going forward, because now that we've learned everything that we've learned throughout Gap, I think you. I mean, obviously, if you've been with us this far, you should have noticed that every season we kind of do something different. We kind of mix things up. We tried the point system, we tried the rewards map, we tried different things with our various programs. So it was sort of like it was working, but it was also experimental. Season on season we tried to improve or experiment with a few different formats that we think works. So moving forward after Gap, we'll take all of those learnings, and we're doing currently an inventory of all the community programs we're running, just making sure that it's working the way we want it to work, and we streamline those community programs to actual opportunities and more concrete ways that our community can contribute. So it'll still feel like the same programs, but moving forward, we want to be more focused about it, and we want to streamline it to opportunities for our community members to participate even more. So yeah, that I think we can everyone who's currently participating in any of our community programs, continue being active, continue participating. There will still be some things for you to do after the gap era of YGG.
Yeah, we're not forgetting the community at all, right? This is a big shift, but the community is always still at the heart of YGG in general. We'll be having new community initiatives, new different things. This isn't the first time that we've kind of rebranded and evolved, and every time we've rebranded and evolved, we've expanded and added a lot new things. I remember when what has it been, Gabby? Like 1 or 2 years since we've done the last rebranding.
Uh, Almost 3 years, I think.
Yeah, right. And that came with a whole new platform, a whole new website, a whole new iteration of Gap itself, where we really expanded and added a lot more features and people. So I think people can expect the same thing from this next evolution of YGG. So, Gabby, I'm going to hand it back over to you. What can we talk about in terms of YGG play without leaking too much? Because we're going to be doing a whole another AMA and a whole article once we iron out all the details for YGG play. But overall, what can we talk about right now?
Yeah, so YGG Play is our game publishing unit within YGG. The first game we're publishing is Lowland, so you guys know about that game. What you probably don't know about is that we'll be looking to publish other casual DGen games too. We've been actually talking to a bunch of games already for publishing, and we're gonna have our first few partners lined up soon. It's too early for me to talk about who those partners are, but yeah, we're gonna see other games apart from Lowland join part of the YGG Play family.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. On that note, that kind of wraps up our agenda and what we want to talk about. Now we want to open the floor to you guys. So I've already dropped the form in the chat if you haven't seen that already, but we've been collecting questions all week from you guys. I'm sure a bunch of these have now been answered, but I am going to go through this with Sam and Gabby. And if you guys still have questions, feel free to add those into the forum and we will be sure to answer them. If you are on any of our other socials, Twitch, YouTube, X, or Facebook, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. I can see them as well, and we will bring those up. But let's circle over here and let's go into the questions. So the first question here we have from Dung Hyeo, and this will be for you, Sam, is what kind of improvements can we expect from the new platform? Again, we touched on this a little bit, but maybe let's just reiterate what those improvements are going to be.
Yeah. I honestly think that the biggest improvement is that it's not going to be seasonal anymore. So whenever you go to the new platform that will have for questing, if you feel like it, you can do questing anytime. There isn't going to be an off season. That being said, like the availability of quests is still going to be a bit dependent on our, our games and our future of work partners. But as for the community programs, it's always going to be there. Another improvement is, we're constantly improving the way that we do rewards. So I think rewards is going to be more streamlined. So it's going to be more focused on rewarding activities like tournaments, leaderboards. It's going to be a bit more intentional. So maybe some people who are just doing Gap simply to gain rewards might not be so happy about it. but people who are our OG community members or really love playing games, they're gonna feel more rewarded based on the stuff that they do with us. And obviously, like our active contributors, we're working towards providing more concrete opportunities for these and to funnel them to opportunities where they can shine and they can use their skills that they've learned with us so far.
Exactly. And another thing that I know we've talked about as well is, as people know with Gap, if you've been here from the beginning to now, we've really tried to streamline the claiming and the verification through APIs. On our new platform, that should be a lot more sorted out. We're really aiming for it. And again, because we're not trying to pack everything so seasonal, the partners that we're bringing onto that platform should essentially have API integration where you shouldn't have to wait for verification. Hopefully, fingers crossed. That's what we're aiming for, is a much more streamlined approach.
Oh yeah, that's true. Operationally, obviously, like a lot is changing for us and our team. But you as the user, you'll feel it through, hopefully like faster times where you get approvals and everything's just going to be more intentional and easier to manage.
Perfect. We have another one here from Akazeg, and he's got 3 questions. I know the 2 other ones we kind of already covered here, what the successor program is and reasons behind why this is the final season, but this one was really great. What legacy does Gap leave behind after it wraps up? So I'll touch a little bit on this because, again, Gabby, as you know, I was kind of the guy putting together the quests out the gate when we were originally doing League of Kingdoms, right? That was our first
That's
game.
right.
So for
And
me, this is, yeah,
the first code name for Gap was actually Future of Work. So
it
that was
was.
yeah. Okay, go ahead, Fallen.
Yeah, no, it's very bittersweet. When I was told that we were going to be sunsetting it, I obviously had as many questions as the community on why we were doing this and why. And obviously, Gabby, you've explained that extremely well to me. So I think the legacy going forward is, again, we're still going to have quests, and we're going to use all that information, all that experience that we gathered while we were doing Gap quests to make sure those quests are going to be as good as they can be. So as we said, Gap might be ending, but it's not the end of questing in YGG. It's just another evolution. So, Gabby, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well, right? We've done 10 seasons of this. It's been three, maybe more than 3 years that we've been doing this. So,
Yeah. While we're very proud of what you achieved, there's some things about Gap that we've actually want to change. One of that is the seasonal nature of it. um, there's a bunch of upgrades that we want to do. So I think it's good to do a little bit of a reset and do a fresh start. But as Sam was saying earlier, I think a big part of the legacy is actually everyone's achievements that we'll be keeping. As you said, Fallen, these are soulbound tokens. These will be in your wallets forever. And we'll make sure that we'll be able to port them in so that you can see all of the Gap achievements you've done. I think it's very important to show the history of what people have done within our community. So even if Gap as a program is ending, yeah, we want to make sure that everyone can preserve and show and flex everything that they've done from seasons 1 to 10.
excellent. Yeah, we're definitely. I know it's something that I've been driving home, is that we still want to make sure your reputation is going to be shown on the new platform, or there'll be some sort of way to capitalize on that. So, again, once we have more details, we will definitely be letting people know. Next, we touched on this already, but in terms of conversion, Sam, we're going to be trying to find a nice sweet spot, right? We don't want to ostracize the people that have gone through the reward track and hit all those main ones, but we also don't want people to feel like their points are not being converted fairly.
Yes, correct. So, the alpha right now is still to make sure that you make it to the rewards map nodes. But if you don't, you'll still have the one claim button at the end of the season after all the rewards map stuff has run out.
Exactly. Here, let's see what Lee has to say. With questing slash grinding for Gap Season 10, is there going to be any sort of airdrop or anything expected? I think the answer to that is no. I don't know anything about that. I think with the conversion of points and everything, we're not expecting to do anything like that, right, Gabby?
No, we're not.
Yeah. So guys, if you see anything that says free airdrop for season 10 or anything, that's a scam. Don't click on
That's
it.
Yeah. A reminder as well about scams. There's more scams than usual these days, in general, but also targeted towards some of the YGG channels or YGG community members. So please, anything about airdrops, ignore it. It's a scam. Anything not from the official YGG channels, it's a scam.
Exactly. Be on the lookout. We've been getting more and more. As our mods know, we've actually been getting a huge amount of people flooding in as like support bots in our Discord, and we've been banning them a lot. But for whatever reason, we're getting targeted again. So be extra careful. And if your gut is telling you that something's too good to be true, it probably is. You can always circle back and hit up any of our mods, any of our helpers, even myself or AC or May. We would rather you ask 1,000 times than get scammed one time. So yeah, definitely check in. Okay, on to the next one. We've got Ron31 here, and I think we talked a little bit about this. It's funny, people were typing all their questions midstream. I guess not knowing that we would answer some of these questions here. They were just asking, what specific plans do we have to retain the interests of questers going forward? Sam, this is probably a good one for you.
Okay, thanks for that. So I think maintaining the interest of questers, it's going to be a bit different depending on what type of quester you are. So for our, I would say like the more active people in our community, especially those who contribute in one way or another as a guild member or a guild leader or a content creator or a game tester, then it's there's still going to be some activity going forward after season 10 of Gap. So it's going to feel the same. So as long as you're still interested to grow in terms of those specific skills, then it's still going to be very rewarding to continue participating in those programs. As for games, obviously if we're going to move to a new platform, we might lose a few of our players, especially the people that I hope we kind of lose the interest of are the people who farm or cheat or do not so great things with the community, like people who do multi accounting. We're always like looking out for you guys, but we don't catch everyone. So people who are malicious, who do malicious activities, like uh, we'd love for them to disappear after season 10 of Gap. As we move to this new platform, we're gonna make sure that everyone who stays in the community are the people who actually love playing games and not just here to extract value from the rest of the community or from YGG. So in terms of retaining interest, we'll just do what we keep doing. We'll still we'll make sure that every week there's still something new to do. There's still something new to look forward to. And if in case during that span of time you're not interested in the opportunities that are with YGG or you're not interested in the games, then you can leave for a while. But if there's a new game that comes up and you see it and you're interested, then you can join again. It's not something that you're not required to always participate, but there's always going to be something for different types of gamers, different types of people who are still in the YGG community.
Exactly. We're still going to have lots of community events and other things going on. It's not just because we're shifting and sunsetting Gap doesn't mean all the programs that we're still doing are just up and disappearing either. They're going to evolve and obviously tweak it as people have seen. We've started doing like game nights with AC and stuff just to be more engaged and stuff. That's not going to change. Actually, if anything, it's going to get a little bit more exciting because we won't be beholden to what games are in Gap to showcase during these seasons because there won't be seasons. If there's a fun game that's even outside of YGG Play that we just want to play with the community, we're just going to play it because that's what we want to do, right? It's a community event. So I think, again, there's going to be some plus and minuses with the evolution where we figure out what kind of community events and stuff we're going to do. But it's also going to be very exciting for us because it will be liberating. We're not beholden to the seasonal structure anymore. We're going to be able to kind of do whatever we want. If there's an exciting game that pops into YGG Play, we'll be able to tackle that. But also at the same time, we're going to be able to play whatever piques our interest at the time. So if there's an exciting game, whether it's in Web3 or even outside of it, we might just have a community game night where everybody pops in and plays together. So those are kind of the things I've been thinking of with AC. And I know May is going to be still continuing to do a lot of great work with the game testing. So again, all the staples are still going to be there. It's just a little bit of a shakeup. We have a question here from Judy. We touched on what's going to happen with achievements and badges already, but she wants to know, with the extension, for a game like Sparkball, are we going to reopen enrollments or submission forms? I have the answer to that, and that's going to be no, because the game is not opening again, which means there will be no point in enrolling. I think maybe her question there pertains to the fact that maybe somebody might have participated in that playtest and not enrolled. Sam, I don't think we're expected to open that, right?
Yeah, we officially closed the forms, but if you actually did participate and did the quest, you can file a ticket, and let's do something about it if it's something that you, because I know the Sparkwall quest was a bit tough. So if there are just a handful of people who failed to enroll there, but you actually did the quest, then just feel free to file a ticket.
Okay, Judy's asking because she's that person. So, Judy, open a ticket and we'll get you sorted. No problem. No problem. Okay, let's run through these here.
Oh, because of that, actually, reminder for everyone: enrollments end on August 1. After that, just make sure that if you did the work, just do the final step of submitting the form.
Excellent. Here we have a familiar name, JB NFT X Street, my man. What's going on? I knew you'd be here. Okay, will Guild and slash Alliance quests be removed? So this is probably to Sam as well. We're still going to have quests. We're obviously still going to try and have guild quests, but how is that going to be changing with the new platform shift?
Right. So I think, sorry, this is JB, right? From JB.
Yes.
So I think it's two slightly different things. We have on-chain guilds, but we also have the YGGPH Guild Alliance. So Guild Alliance activities are still gonna remain with YGGPH. Maybe that's a better avenue to ask that question specifically. But as for on-chain guilds, we'll still continue to. I think like almost every week or every other week, we present new opportunities for our guilds on top of the guild quests that we have for the season. So I imagine it's still
Yeah.
gonna look the same as that.
And
Not
YGGPH will have their own version of community questing.
yeah.
Got it. Got it. So, Gabby, here's another one from JB. What are we going to be seeing with the on-chain guilds portion? Because that was obviously something we introduced as well. Is that going to be on the new platform? That's not getting sunset, right? We're still doing on-chain guilds, or is that going to shift to like the PH side?
We're keeping on-chain guilds. We're keeping the interface so that guild leaders can still manage their guilds and manage their funds in the guild wallets. Don't expect to see much new feature development in the short term, but on-chain guilds is actually something that we intend to keep in the long term. And as uh, as the YGG Play publishing business starts to get more mature, I think we can find some points of integration. So TLDR, we're keeping on-chain guilds.
Exactly. Yeah, we're definitely going to be keeping and innovating that, but right now the focus is on the initial change to YGG Play, and then we're going to be working on a bunch of all the other features, including on-chain guilds.
And just to clarify there, Fallen, what Gabby said about guilds still being able to access the dashboard in their wallets, that's still going to be in the current platform, yieldguild.io. So that's not going away. It's only the Gap pages that are going away. And then as for the moving forward, we're going to be focused more on activities and opportunities and less just on the product features that you find on the website.
Got it. We have one here from Golty, and this is again to rewards claiming. So we've touched on the conversion rate. Obviously, we're not going to tell you the exact amount. You can figure that out once you're there. But this is kind of an interesting question. Will staking modifier, like your staking multiplier, affect that conversion rate? I don't know if we thought about that, but that is an interesting thing to think about. If you have a higher staked amount, do you get a better conversion rate?
Yeah. Good question, and I think we'll be better equipped to announce the finer details about the conversion rate and the staking multiplier once we're near the one button claim, because we'll be seeing the data, we'll be seeing how many people still have to claim. So we'll share more information once that date is near. Um, as Paulin mentioned earlier, we're gonna have AMAs every week until the end of GAP. So probably in the coming weeks, we can share more info about that. and we'll add it to the announcement post as well, so that everyone's still informed.
Perfect. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know if the people doing the conversion were
Yeah,
thinking about that.
but definitely the multiplier is still gonna benefit you if you make it to the rewards claiming on the rewards map. But after that, it's gonna be to a less extent.
Yeah, you're already getting more points as having the multiplier, so I don't know if we're gonna compound that. As you said, once we have more details, we'll really flesh it out. Is there a timeline for the new questing platform? That's a good one.
Yeah. So ideally, no definite dates yet. But within the quarter, we'll have like more information for you and how to access all of the questions.
Soon after.
Yeah, once we know, you
Wait for a
guys
second.
will know. Yeah. Okay, let's go. We have a few more questions here. Uh, since rewards are first come first serve basis, should the team start accepting or rejecting quests already? We are actually.
Yeah.
For the quests that we can accept, we are already accepting those. So be on the lookout for that. Uh, if you guys are waiting till the end of gap to submit stuff, that might not be in your best interest. But if you've already submitted, we are trying our best with our game partners to get those sorted. Um,
Have already had the approvals. Actually, next week we'll see a bulk more approvals because we've been working with our game partners for that. Specifically Lowland. So I think Lowland is the game that has the most number of quest submissions. We'll be working on that soon enough next week.
mhm. We have one from Always Stress Kotaro. He wants to know about the game testing program. So, do we have any updates in regarding the game testing? It's not disappearing, from what I know, right, Sam?
Yes, of course. Like May is here on the Discord chats. She is probably going to share more info in the coming AMAs that we'll be holding over the next weeks. Because in the community AMAs that we'll have over the next weeks, we'll have Amazing head of the GT program, Landfill who's heading the creator program, Corpse who's heading our mods. They're all gonna guest and they're all gonna share a bit more detail about their specific programs. But for now, I'll just give a short answer and May can do the rest in the following weeks, which is yes, game testing is still going to continue. It's still going to be a gated community based on either activity that you've done in the past with game testing or with GAP, or you can work with special regional partner programs in order to get you into the game testing program. So for example, for Ola, we have a few game testers from there who didn't necessarily meet the criteria for the game testing program, but because they are active in their region, it served as a fast track to the game testing program. Similar with game testers or game agents from the YGG PH programs and VGG programs as well. So still going to be there, still going to be accessible. It's still going to be gated, so that the opportunities remain exclusive. But there's still going to be activity with game testing.
Excellent. Okay. Johnny, we've already answered what's happening with badges. Nothing. They're not disappearing. They're there. They're soulbound. And we will figure out how to migrate them to the new platform. What we do with those badges and what they unlock, that's still up in the air. Next, we've got Metabang Axie players asking, is there going to be a new rewards track? No, definitely not, because we're going to be doing that claiming and eliminating points, so it would make no sense to have a new rewards track. If you've already completed 1 and 2, then you will just use your remaining points to claim YGG tokens at the after it opens on October 1st, right, Sam? Yes.
Yes.
Um, for new quests, Mr. Young is asking, will rewards still be in YGG tokens? Will they be in stable tokens, or will they be different? I think, Gabby, from what I gathered, it's really going to come down to our game partners that are featured in the questing. They're going to be choosing the rewards, right? They're the ones who, yeah.
That's correct.
So it could be anything. It could be NFTs. It could be their token. It could be stable tokens. They could, I don't know, buy YGG tokens to put up for rewards. It's really going to be up to them. So I guess that's kind of exciting in a sense. It'll be, a lot more variety. It won't just be YGG tokens, which might make some people sad, but also on the other side, it's exciting. So we're going to be leaving that there too. We have another one here. What games or activities can people expect with YGG Play?
Well, you've already seen Lowland, right? I think what I can say is that we're looking for similar kind of like casual degen titles. Yeah, games that have like a lot of accessibility, easy to play, but have that kind of degen flavor to them. So, yeah, those are the types of games that we're looking for.
Excellent. Okay, we've got one here from Shyam. I know you're asking in the Discord, what's going to happen with all of our other things, mods, community helpers, checkers, so on. And as we said, there's going to be an evolution. We still need mods. Still need our community helpers. Um, we're just going to be figuring out how that works. So there'll probably be a quest on the new platform in regards to that. We're definitely going to be a lot more stringent on who we're adding and how many people we're adding to it, depending on the needs of the community. But those roles are not disappearing. And as you said, Sam, we will be having Corp City, we'll be having May, we'll be having Landfill. All of those guys come on and talk about their specific programs because we want you to hear it from their mouth on what they're kind of developing and thinking. But you don't need to worry; they're not disappearing. Just like with everything that we say, and there's going to be an evolution. We might be a little bit more strict on who we're adding and what they're, but it's not disappearing. Um,
Yeah.
that is all our questions here, guys. Anything else that you think we need to touch on? Gabby, we're still doing YPS this year, right?
Yeah, YGG Play Summit is still happening in November of this year in
That's it.
Manila.
YGG Play Summit is coming back, and we'll have more details for people once we get closer to that date. Yeah, I think we've touched on everything. I hope, guys, that answered most of your questions. I know a lot of you were getting antsy when we said Gap was getting sunset. It is not the end of questing on YGG. We're making that 100% clear. It is the next evolution of YGG to bigger and brighter things. Sam, anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
Well, obviously, if anyone has any questions here that weren't addressed, feel free to join us every week. This month, we're still gonna have global hangouts on Wednesdays and sometimes Fridays, but we'll have the AMA sessions every Wednesday. And I just want to say, with all of the things that are moving and changing, you might feel a bit overwhelmed. Some people might, but overall, it's really just a huge step forward for us to be able to transition, move towards this new chapter, this new era where we're more focused. We're still focused on community. We're still focused on growth. We're just going to be more intentional about it. It's just going to be more streamlined. And hopefully, at the end of the day, it's just an improvement for everyone in the community and, our new members or old members, everyone who's participated and supported YGG so far.
Exactly. Gabby, you closing thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for everyone that has been with us for the last few years. We always try to evolve and change. So I don't think anyone should be sad that Gap is ending. Like we're always trying to evolve for the better. And yeah, we actually have a really bright future that I'm very bullish about.
Yeah, I know this pivot. When you grabbed all the core team, I could see how excited you were about the shift and everything. So, guys, it's Gabby. Gabby is extra excited, so you guys should be as well. And I think the whole core team is extremely on board with the shift. Like I said, it's bittersweet for a bunch of us that have seen Gap evolve and change, but it's much needed, right? There's with a landscape that changes so often and in a space that is changing and ever evolving, you need to be fluid or you get left behind. And I don't think anybody would want to see YGG crumble because we're clutching on to Gap as like our hill that we want to die on. And that's not the case. We want to make sure we're around for the long run, hopefully indefinitely into the future, and that, token price can go up. I think that's what people are hoping for. So, guys, again, we want to reiterate our love for the community and everyone that's been on this journey with us. It's obviously not over. It's just a chapter that we're closing, but on to bigger and better things. So, thank you so much for everybody joining. If you have any more questions, as Sam said, I will have a Q&A portion throughout all of our hangouts. Feel free to jump in and ask me questions there. I'm going to be keeping the Gap sunsetting forum open So if you guys have additional questions, feel free to add those and we will touch on them in our next AMAs. But again, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. And as always, it's still Together We Play. So we will see you in the next one. Thanks,
Thank
Gabby.
you.
Thanks, Sam. See you around.